Hi, I'm Deb Adioba. Thanks for taking the time to check out my presentation. First, I should say I'm not a game developer, but I am passionate about how text-to-speech can empower game developers to do more. Before we get started, I want to play a video for you showing how synthetic voice can be applied in a complete game experience, starring Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella.
Hello? I need your help. There's a young girl trapped inside this portal, and you have to get her out.
Press the red button on the walkie-talkie and tell me your name.
Satya.
Satya, it's me, Jessica. You can totally help me. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
That was a Demogorgon. You gotta get me out of here. Quick, get its attention.
Woo!
Now's your chance to use your superpowers. Hold up both hands and kill it. You did it! That was awesome. Satya, you saved my life.
This amazing experience I just showed you, Microsoft built together with Universal Studios. It's a great example of how intelligent edge meets intelligent cloud. I want to start off today by discussing where text-to-speech fits within cognitive services. With cognitive services, we offer the most comprehensive set of capabilities across vision, speech, language, and decision, and our models can be customized with any data. Let's take a closer look at one of our key cognitive services capabilities, speech services. Azure Speech Services contains 4 key services: speech-to-text, which covers both interactive as well as batch recognition, text-to-speech, which converts text to lifelike speech, and by combining the previous 2 services seamlessly with our machine translation capability, you can easily provide voice-in, voice-out speech translation across a wide range of languages. And lastly, our Speaker ID technology lets you leverage diarization to separate speakers in a conversation or identify a user out of a group of enrolled users to personalize your app's response to him or to use as an additional authentication factor. All of these services are easily accessible using our Speech SDK and our Devices SDK and can be leveraged to create, in particular, ambient devices that are optimized for speech interactions. Not only can you access these services in Azure, we also offer these exact same capabilities as Docker containers you can run in your own data center if you need to for connectivity or policy reasons. We offer these services across a wide range of languages, and using our Speech Studio portal, you can customize them so you get the best possible accuracy for your scenario. Text-to-speech has been around for many years. Ever since people built computers, they've always had a desire to make machines speak. You've probably seen old footage of computers speaking in a very robotic voice. In recent years, with breakthroughs in neural networks, we can create digital voices that are almost indistinguishable from human voices. Before neural text-to-speech, traditional text-to-speech was made possible by taking thin slices from recordings of words and then using an algorithm to stitch those slices into a sentence we want to synthesize. Concatenative technology breaks down prosody into separate linguistic analysis and acoustic prediction steps that are governed by independent models. But the result has a definitive computer-generated sound quality that can result in a muffled, buzzy voice synthesis.
I live at 9th Avenue and 20th Street, 3 blocks away from where I work.
The result, as you heard, sounds robotic. In addition, concatenative voices require a lot of training data. Here's the human recording from the same voice.
I live at 9th Avenue and 20th Street, 3 blocks away from where I work.
Now let's hear the voice generated by neural TTS using neural networks.
I live at 9th Avenue and 20th Street, 3 blocks away from where I work.
Our text-to-speech capability uses deep neural networks to overcome the limits of traditional text-to-speech systems in matching the patterns of stress and intonation in spoken language called prosody, and in synthesizing the units of speech into a computer voice. How do we overcome the limits of traditional text-to-speech? This can be broken down into 3 parts. First, we use deep neural networks to train the acoustic-based model. Next, we support high-quality waveform generation. And finally, we have universal applicability across speakers and styles, emotions, and we're able to adapt new speakers and to new characteristics. This allows our voices to significantly reduce listening fatigue during interactions with AI systems. I want to give you an overview of the text-to-speech services we currently offer. First, we offer neural text-to-speech. Right now, we have 334 neural voices available in 129 languages and growing. We also offer custom neural voice in 49 languages through our self-service portal, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Let's talk a little more about custom neural voice. For organizations needing voice customization, we offer custom neural voices to enhance brand identity by creating a custom persona for natural interactions. Custom neural voice can be used for real-time scenarios as well as synthesizing long-form audio content, which makes interactions with game characters more natural and engaging. We are really excited to offer a self-service portal, which gives you the power to train your own voice. Custom neural voice is a limited access service because we built this technology with responsible AI in mind. So we ask all of our customers to apply with your use case before we give you access. Training a custom neural voice in our self-serve portal is very easy and requires no coding. Some of the advantages are self-serve with no expertise required, support for language models, compatibility for long-duration audio files, and voice tuning ability to modify parameters. After your application is approved, you can prepare the training data, upload your data, train a model, and deploy. It usually takes about 20 to 30 hours to train a model. Let's check out some custom neural voice samples in American English and British English. The first sample I want to show you is a male from Great Britain speaking English. Here is his human recording.
The New Yorker has a good record of commissioning articles.
And this is his custom neural voice.
Can I have your email?
And here is a female from the US speaking English.
It is so exciting to be a part of the team.
And this is the custom neural voice.
It is so exciting to be a part of the team.
Based on our experiences working with different gaming partners, we see potential popular use case patterns for neural voice shared across many game categories, such as RPG, adventure, action, and sports games. In the following presentation, I will walk you through how Azure Speech Services has helped game developers in accessibility, game chat, creating dynamic content, game localization, and voiceovers with neural voice to empower game developers. You can use speech transcription, neural voice, and speech translation to support accessibility and game chat. Let's see an example from Xbox game Sea of Thieves showing how users can talk while they play using real-time transcription to facilitate the chat.
I gave us a sweet new flag.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, very nice. Could I trouble you when you have time to load the cannons?
Oh, sure. Are you going to be able to steer away from these rocks?
But I'm totally doing that.
I just want to make sure you can see them all.
I have the sails strategically positioned.
Once a player turns on translation, as you can see from the screenshot in the game, they can communicate without language barriers. You can also integrate neural text-to-speech to play out the transcription or the translation content on the go. Microsoft empowers both first-party game studios as well as our third-party customers. We offer customized speech solutions to support translation in game chat, which can recognize the game-specific command and tactics used during the chat in higher precision. This leads to better quality translation of in-game chat among players. Let's check out a video from our customer Acer talking about how Secret Wave Translator works on their game platform.
Now, obviously, as we play online, we are playing on a global scale, meaning that language barriers are bound to become an issue. This is why we've created Secret Wave. Secret Wave is an AI-assisted translator whose primary goal is to help communication with your teammates be as easy, fluid, and accurate as possible. Now, let's look at an example. Say you have a situation where you run into the ever-despised camper. Now, most translation software or other translations will unfortunately lead you to this: a group of friends sitting around a campfire, enjoying and telling camp stories. Instead of this, a sniper in the back of the map, his scope aimed, ready to pick you off as soon as you run into sight. And although this might be hilarious, unfortunately, this often leads to confusion, frustration, and an eventual loss, which is why Secret Wave has learned from over 10 million sentence pairing simulations and observed over 1,000 hours of video-related content as well.
Let's talk about dynamic content. Dynamic content specifically refers to real-time content that changes frequently. A good example is Xbox Flight Simulator. By adding authentic air traffic controller voices, Flight Simulator added a small but powerful way to elevate the flight simulator experience. For Flight Simulator, recording audio to replicate air traffic controllers from every airport on Earth was a huge task. TTS was a great solution that can handle the dynamic content as well as serve the air traffic controller voices as low latency, highly available, secure, scalable solutions.
Rent and ground Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha IFR to Hillsboro ready to copy.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha is cleared to Hillsboro Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 16 climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure frequency is 126.5, squawk 4372.
Cessna Alpha Sierra X-Ray Golf Sierra Alpha cleared to Hillsboro Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 16 climb and maintain 5,000 feet. Departure on 126.5, squawk 4372.
Cessna Golf Sierra Alpha, readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.6 when ready to taxi.
Dynamic content can also be blended with voiceover content. Here's an example of the Xbox game Crackdown using dynamic name insertion. This is the VO recording without dynamic content.
It's kill or be killed, Agent. I know which I'd prefer.
By using TTS, you can add the user's name to make the game feel more engaging.
It's kill or be killed, Melissa. I know which I'd prefer.
Another example of dynamic name insertion is the work we did with AT&T to create the voice of Bugs Bunny. AT&T created an AR experience in their flagship stores that allows their customers to interact with Bugs.
Nice to meet you, Mike.
What's so exciting about bringing the 5G experience with Looney Tunes to life is voice from our perspective, because it's using a custom voice font that Microsoft created to help with AT&T's experience. Bugs Bunny can talk directly to customers. When they walk in, it can say their names and talk to them as if they were real.
Oh, come on, Doc. I can't do this alone. I need your help.
Voice font is a very new thing. So just like a font on your computer where you have letters and characters that look a certain way, we take sounds, phonemes from actors or people, and we take them apart and then put them together using machine learning and putting in a new model and assembling the voice font.
So, James, what do you say? Do you think you could help me find that golden carrot?
Having a conversation with Bugs. I mean, what kid growing up didn't want to be able to do that?
That's the spirit, Doc.
Being able to come into the space and have a live conversation with Bugs Bunny and have that interaction and just see people from across the room come over and watch what's happening, it's just been fantastic.
I'm looking for a golden carrot.
The experience is really fun and playful. Users play a game with an artificially intelligent Bugs Bunny that can interact with them naturally just using their voice. There's a voice font so that Bugs Bunny could say every person's name that could possibly walk into the store.
We recently released cross-lingual adaptation. You could use our cross-lingual adaptation technologies to support game localization. Let me tell you a little bit about it. In the past, to create a custom neural voice in different languages, you would need a whole separate training set which contained the voice of a person who spoke that particular language. Now, you can create a voice of a person in their native language and use our cross-lingual transfer technology to have that same person's voice speak multiple languages but keep the same persona. Cross-lingual adaptation offers 3 strengths to support secondary language building and localization. First, there's no training data required in cross languages. Second, keep your voice brand and identity across the languages. And third, you can go to market with a lower cost. Here are some samples using Xbox Flight Simulator tutorial voices. This is the English US voice of their female air traffic controller.
Welcome to flight training. I'm your instructor, Captain Molina, but you can just call me Jess.
And here it is in German.
Willkommen zum Flugunterricht. Ich bin Ihre Fluglehrerin, Captain Molina, aber Sie können mich einfach Jess nennen.
And French?
Bienvenue dans votre formation en vol. Je suis votre instructrice, Capitaine Molina. Appelez-moi Jess.
And Portuguese?
Bem-vindo ao treinamento de voo. Sou a Capitã Molina, sua instrutora, mas pode me chamar de Jess.
And here's their male air traffic controller in US English.
Welcome to flight training. I'll be your instructor, Captain Mike Barnes. Are you ready to fly?
And German?
Willkommen bei der Flugausbildung. Ich bin Ihr Fluglehrer Captain Mike Barnes. Sind Sie bereit?
And French?
Bienvenue à la formation en vol. Je suis votre instructeur, le capitaine Mike Barnes. Vous vous sentez d'attaque?
And Portuguese.
Bem-vindo ao treinamento de voo. Sou o capitão Mike Barnes e serei seu instrutor. Está pronto para voar.
As you can see, by using our cross-lingual adaptation, the voice is able to speak in many different languages, keeping the same persona. Cross-lingual adaptation can also be used to support AR/VR games. Here is a use case built by the Microsoft Mixed Reality and Speech team and presented by Microsoft Marketing.
Now she's a little small to do a keynote. So let's get her up so she can do full-size Japanese keynote. Render keynote.
ホログラムになることには本当に驚くべきことがあります。私たちは最新の複合現実キャプチャ技術を使用し、私のホログラムを作成しています。実在の人物をホログラムとして見たことがあるかもしれませんが、私が実際に日本語を話しているのが新しいのです。私は日本語を話しませんが、私の声とホログラムは完璧な日本語で話しています。これはニューラルテキスト読み上げと呼ばれる最新の人工知能技術、いわゆるニューラル TTS を使用しています。私たちは自分の声の録音を使用し、私のように聞こえる私自身の個人的な音声署名を作成します。日本語からフランス語、ポルトガル語まで話せます。今、この技術は私たちが働き、遊び、生活する方法に関して、世界中の国境や障壁を取り除くことができると想像してみてください。まさに SF が現実になるところです。
Now, as you can see, this is mind-blowing technology. And what you just saw was my life-size hologram, my exact replica, rendered here in real time, speaking Japanese with my unique voice signature. To do this, we use mixed reality technology to create my hologram and render it here live. Then we use Azure Speech to Text capability and English transcription to get my speech. Then use Azure Translate to get the speech into Japanese. And finally, applied neural text-to-speech technology so it sounded exactly like me, just speaking Japanese. And the most amazing part? All of these technologies exist today.
Another feature announcement we recently made is Viseme. Text-to-speech animation is an emerging solution area which creates immersive virtual experiences with an avatar that automatically animates its mouth movements in unison with synthetic speech. We are excited to introduce the Viseme feature in Azure Cognitive Service that allows developers to sync the mouth and face poses of an avatar with neural text-to-speech. The Viseme is a speech SDK event. In Viseme events, the input text, or SSML, is converted into a set of Viseme ID and audio offsets. With the Viseme outputs, you can build your own characters and automatically animate the characters to speak the input text. Here is an example of the Viseme input event output. There are three major components in Viseme events. The text analysis is designed to analyze the text input and get the phonemes out of the words. The TTS acoustic predictor is used to predict the duration of each phoneme. Finally, the TTS Viseme generator predicts the Viseme sequence based on text analysis and acoustic prediction. After obtaining the Viseme output, you can use these outputs to drive character animation. For 2D characters, you can design a character that suits your scenario and use scalable vector graphics, or SVGs, for each Viseme ID to get a time-based face position. With temporal tags provided by Viseme events, these well-designed SVGs will be processed with smoothing modifications and provide interesting animations to the users. For example, this red-lipped character is designed for language learning.
Original. 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 Original.
For 3D characters, you can think of these characters as string puppets. The Viseme output acts as a puppet master to provide an action timeline. The animation engine defines the physical laws of action. By interpolating frames with easing algorithms, the engine can further generate high-quality animations. To enable Viseme, you need to subscribe to the Viseme received event in the Speech SDK. This code snippet illustrates how to subscribe to the Viseme event. In addition, we offer our audio content creation tool, which is an easy-to-use tool and lets you build highly natural audio content for a variety of scenarios, like game narrations and content for NPC roles. With audio content creation, you can fine-tune TTS voices and design customized audio experiences in an efficient and low-cost way. The tool uses speech synthesis markup language, or SSML. It allows you to adjust TTS output attributes in real time or batch synthesis, such as voice characters, styles, speaking speed, pronunciation, or prosody. You can have easy access to our pre-built voices or your own custom neural voice if you've built one. Are you excited yet about using Azure Text-to-Speech in your games? Let's take one more example. What if I want to use an English US custom neural voice to continue my presentation? This model was trained with just 500 sentences. Here we go. To make it easier to develop a speech-enabled game experience, Azure Speech SDK provides one development workflow for all speech services. Currently, the SDK provides access to 4 main functions: speech-to-text, text-to-speech, speech translation, and speaker recognition. The Speech SDK also supports REST APIs that work with any programming language that can make HTTP requests, including JavaScript. The SDK supports Windows 10, lots of versions of Linux, iOS, Android, and it can run on our Xbox and HoloLens platforms. Back to Real Me now. If you didn't notice, that's my own custom neural voice. You don't necessarily need to be a data scientist or your own AI expert to get started. We have comprehensive guidance to help you onboard, from documentation to code samples to tutorials. We're excited to partner with you to empower you to create more games. Thanks for watching.